I'm not going to tell you about them.
If I didn't see them.
That wouldn't be very fun.
When my son and I moved in here, it wasn't as warm as we hoped.
So I wanted to start by saying the Haunted Mansion has a rich history and very distinct visual style. So, how did you balance paying homage to the classic attraction while also bringing a fresh and innovative approach to the visual effects in the movie?
Well, it's funny. You're always kind of serving two masters when you're doing these kind of movies. You want to make sure that the people who've been on the ride 1,000 times recognize things in the movie and can connect to them. But you also want to not just make the ride verbatim. You want to make a movie also for the people who've never been on the ride and want to enjoy it in a brand new way. So you're trying to push the boundaries and make the particular part of the ride bigger than it was on the ride, but not so different that you can't recognize from where it came.
Yeah. So, what I saw, each ghost in the movie has its unique personality and backstory. How did you approach designing and animating the various spirits to give them their individuality and, like charm?
Sure. Well, a lot of the ghosts, most of the ghosts, obviously, were actually people standing in costume. So our production designer, Darren Guilford, and our costume designer really worked hard to create those with Justin Simeon, our director. This wide cast of characters. Very early on, Justin wanted to make sure that our ghosts weren't just all a bunch of CG ghosts flying around, that there were actually people standing in the room. Because the movies that really scared him were like The Shining and The Ring, where the ghost was actually standing in the room, kind of coming towards you, right?
Yeah.
So there's a kind of a scariness to that. So he worked very hard with those people very early on to create those things, and then that only got us so far. And then obviously we were then tasked as a visual effects department to create more of those kinds of ghosts, and we used those initial ghosts as a building point, a starting point. Sorry. To kind of figure out, okay, what are the feel of these ghosts? He really wanted to make sure that it felt like these ghosts are coming from everywhere, from Africa, from China, from like in different time periods as well, Roman soldiers, English kings. So I think it was definitely a collaborative effort with all the different departments to kind of figure out this cast of characters.
Yeah, I think that's what gives it the credibility, and that's what makes it way more spooky than the first movie we saw. Like the fact that those are real people. So I
Sure.
think it was a great call. So, talking about that, what was your favorite ghost character to bring to life through VFX?
I think that the two most challenging ones, well, Madame Leota, I think was pretty challenging, right? Because you have this actor that everybody knows, Jamie Lee Curtis, and you want to make sure that if it's meant to look like Jamie Lee Curtis, that
Yeah.
it looks like Jamie Lee Curtis. So we created a completely CG version of her because we actually thought about putting somebody's head in the ball initially, and we thought,
What?
that's not going to work because the ball floats around and does all kinds of other things.
Yeah.
So much in the way that we took all these other actors that were in costume and made them feel more magical, we took her face and we actually did a facial capture where we captured her performance. And there's all these little things that happen to a human face, like there's little muscle twitches and the way your eye doesn't blink necessarily at the same time. All those little things make you, as a viewer, go, okay, that's really her. It
Yeah.
doesn't look like a
Yeah.
weird CG version of her. So we
Yeah.
were able to take that animation and put that on her CG model, and then add kind of the CG hair and CG smoke and do all the other things that there's no way we'd be able to do practically.
That's so interesting, and I think you did a really, really great job. So for my last question, because I'm running out of time, is there any Easter eggs you incorporated in the movie that fans might not catch on the first time they watch it?
Well, I'm not going to tell you about them.
If I
that,
didn't see them.
that wouldn't be very fun. Um, Yeah, no, I think Dineg, who did the Madame Leota, and ILM, who did the Hatbox Ghost and the Outside, I think they worked a couple in, so it'll be interesting to see who finds what.
Nice. I like that response. So, Edwin, thank you so much for your time. And you did a great job. I loved the movie, and I hope to see you on the next one.
Thank you very much. Mucho gusto.
Surprise. You're all in for a treat.